Okay, so
I'm sorry.
just as we're
Try to be skinny and
working to
I
catalog
can't help.
You're doing good, actually.
the resources, that the communities, that's the cultural center, we have other resources all over the island. We have parks, we have buildings and spaces. We would like to be creating what amounts to a uniform survey of the space and create a uniform set of rules for the utilizations. We have parks, we have elements in parks that could serve the community in various ways at various times. We have lawns, other buildings that sometime will be available, and we would like to, in this way that's not dissimilar and almost an extension of what we're talking about for utilization of the cultural center, we would like to be moving forward with that. So I think I mentioned it last time, I'm mentioning it again, to put it more, to turn up the heat a little bit on the burner so that we attend to it. And the idea is that this is a complex undertaking, but we'd certainly like to get done by the end of the fall, where we have a good survey of what our resources are, where we can describe their utilization, that we can actually, someone comes up and says to us, RIOC, what have you got? You can tell them what you've got. RIOC, how do I get it? It's there. RIOC, how much does it cost? Well, the rates and ideas are worked out in congruence to the utilization costs that you see in the city of New York, over at Queens, for example. What are the hours that are appropriate for parks? That's part of it. What may be in parks in terms of vending or anything of that nature, we'd like to touch on that too. So I'm just bringing it into the meeting here to get it more visibly in front of us as a matter to attend to. Not that we don't have anything else.
And actually, that would be, like, I've been here 3 months now, and everything that I've been doing has been sort of, with the help of the staff, has been sort of ad hoc and addressing issues. You go to sports park, and there was Monterey, and there were fees on that, and how do we use that? The lawns, Dr. Grimm mentioned something about the lawns across the river crossing and the upkeep of them and how they're used. Well, one of the reasons that there's an overuse is because the summer camps are there, and they've been playing soccer there, and you can't really, that's why there's a lot more dirt. The trees are something different, but the river crossing, and in fact, you look at the blog, and you see the kids running around, and there's patches, and that doesn't happen for one reason or another, because the camps don't go to the other ones. But who can use the lawns? How are they used? Those are for free. They should be for free. But what kind of upkeep we need and the maintenance. So all these things are taken into consideration. I also learned today for the first time that we don't use a lot of sports park for various reasons. I don't know why.
I know, it's
And
mind-boggling.
yeah, and but those are the things that we have to look at, how they're used, when they're used, if they can be used, if they need improvements to be used, because obviously there is a need for community space. And also providing the space at least cost possible, yet not bankrupting ourselves. So, yes, we're going to work on that because we have to.
Okay, and I'll mention to the community here, you may be aware of the notion that the steam plant is closing. Steam plant closing means that we're going to be losing some of our resources, at least temporarily. The steam plant is the power source for Sports Park. When the steam plant closes, Sports Park needs to have a replacement power source. So we are in the process of looking at ways of accommodating that. That's just one element of the steam plant closure. So, all these matters are complicated. We're looking actively to create a space. When we're done, that'll be efficient to operate and available as broadly as possible for the community. So the notion that there's space that's poorly used in sports park shouldn't be news to most people. But, you know, we would like to address what we can in a reasonable fashion, meaning not spend a fortune rebuilding the place to make sports park a real resource for the community.
Yeah, I mean, the issue with the steam plant, and we haven't gotten a definitive answer from HHC as to when the steam plant is going to close, which really is something that will make a lot of difference to us as to a temporary measure and then the final solution, as we've been calling it. So if we have to have a temporary measure because we can't finish the final solution because of timing, it's going to be more costly for us. So we're in the process of bidding it out, plans, how much does it cost, you know. So that's a whole other issue. It will not cost the exorbitant rate that some people were talking about. It does not cost, but it's not going to be cheap either.
No, we've reserved a fairly substantial amount
It was just
in the budget.
Much within. I mean, we're not going to have to spend that much.
That's good. Okay, does anyone in the community have some questions about this? Oh, someone does, yes.
Do you anticipate that the sports park will be closed for a period of time?
At this point, again, Rick, since we don't have a definitive answer from HHC as to when the steam plant is shutting down, I don't know, because if we can get the temporary solution in the meantime finished, then no, it won't close. But it'll have to close for at least a week period so that the temporary solution and the final solution will take another week. So yes, it will close for a week, definitively a week to 2 weeks at one point, but I don't know at which point.
And is there a worst possible scenario where it can be closed for 6 months or for an extended?
That's not the word. Forever.
Well,
Thank you, David.
for an extended, is there a bad scenario where it can be closed for an extended period of time?
I don't foresee it, but then again,
We don't know at this time.
we don't know at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
So can you say, Howard, how this is gonna go about, sort of itemizing everything in terms of the parks, the community space? I mean, is that gonna be done by RIOC staff or?
RIOC staff will do discovery and summation of existing resources, spaces that could be used by the community.
Well,
We
there
also-
already exists a thing with the square footage in each building.
Right,
It's
so
just
we're-
the outdoor stuff that
Right, so we
don't
need to make sure it's updated and current.
And also that
Well,
you really
buildings
can
change.
use it, that, like something's not working in it, and
Mhm.
things.
Another thing to talk about, at some point, we might actually work on the Blackwell House. I'm just mentioning.
what?
There's Blackwell House, and some years ago, we did, back in, 4 years ago, we did a conceptual design of Blackwell Park for, I'm sure that we're gonna get value out of that.
Actually, we've been working with it.
Oh, good, good.
The outside would
Okay, okay, great, because the outside is really done last iteration.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah,
very.
there's a lot of trip houses here and so we.
Okay, okay, great, thank you. So, that said, I think we can move on to our fourth point, which is discussion